Joe Marino. Today's question is worth $500. So you saw the commercial.
Look good.
But here's the thing. When I said what I was supposed to say is tomorrow morning's question is worth $500.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I said tomorrow morning we're giving away $500. So therefore, what everybody said around here is that means we got to keep the jackpot at $500 till we actually give it away.
I guess I can see that.
Well,
I can see that.
All right.
I mean, semantical, but
certainly makes it good for anybody participating. So if you get in this morning, you're the right caller at 7:35. It's worth $500.
That's great.
I like it. All right. What do you think about the mayor's proposal here? A pretty substantial tax increase.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see how we didn't see this coming. I mean, I know that there's been word out of the mayor's office for the last 3 years that he's had a 5-year plan. It's time to pay the piper. We've really had no plan. There's been no financial recovery plan. We used a $2.6 million cut from the council when I first got in, cut some payroll. That money was just laid on the table and just kind of used up over time. And that's now where we are. We have a revenue problem, and that's the issue. The issue is the fact that we've never really had any plan to succumb this, massive burden. And that's what I've been saying all along. I mean, I'm not a doomsday kind of guy. I'm not a naysayer about the city. I love this place, and I think it's a rocket ship. I just think that, the analogy I use is that we're a freight train, and the conductor's riding the brake.
Do you feel there should have been maybe tax increases prior, a little higher tax increase, and kind of spread this out?
Yeah, naturally somebody, you would think that. But no, that's not the case. I think that what happened is we as a city and the mayor has said no to several $1 million in revenue over the life of his tenure. And when that happens, then, naturally prices do go up.
What has he said no to? What has he been against?
Yeah, sure. So, we've had an opportunity, and I've been talking about this forever, and I've talked to the county executive about it when I first got in. We've had an opportunity to redistribute sales tax. And there was $1 million on the table from the city of Utica, and the only person that could sign that agreement is the mayor, and he said no, and that was over a year and a half ago. So you're talking about $1.5 million in just redistributing sales tax. We're 24% of the population, we're getting 12% of the money. It's a natural fit to negotiate a redistribution of that. The county executive brought a team together, offered $1 million a year for, I think, a 3-year plan, so we can, sunset it after 3, renegotiate if there's a problem one way or another. And that proposal was turned down. That's a lot of money. There's a fire department initiative where we can do non-emergency transports. Right now we're doing emergency transportation. So if you call 911, take it to the hospital in an emergency setting, non-emergency transportation is not allowed to be done by the city because there's no agreement between the fire department and the mayor. That's a $400,000 to $600,000 a year proposition. We've also said no to that. It's sitting on his desk.
Does that ambulance service make money?
The ambulance service does make money. It really, really does. I mean, I know people want to see it in a way that they can hope that it doesn't make money. It does make money. And now, I'm not a huge proponent of government getting into private business, but that wasn't something that I was really there for. So, now that it's there, we have to make it the best it could be. And our guys, I would rather a Utica fireman pick me up than anyone in the entire country.
The mayor might come back and say, Joe Marino, we tried to put a Stewart's in, and you were, let me hear me out. I'm just trying to say what I think he might say.
Fine.
You were against the Stewarts at one point going in over on Culver.
Yeah.
You were against that concrete macadam facility going on down on the Mohawk River.
Yeah, I'll challenge you, and we do this jestfully, but I'll challenge you on the Stewarts all day long. I never, under any circumstances, didn't want the Stewarts to go in there. I wanted them to go in there the right way and not get into extra commercialization. My editorial in the newspaper backs that up years ago. But I know that that's the thing. The thing against me is that I'm anti-development. I get it. But I'll challenge anyone to my public stance on that all day long. Stewart's
what would you say to the mayor about, so let's pass by Stewart's.
Sure.
What would you say to the mayor about the concrete mixing, the blacktop?
Plant was not the right place for that area. I mean, what happened is they came in, they tried to bring us, sell us this concept of it's not going to, there'll be 20 trucks a day, and it turned out to be 20 trucks an hour. It turned out to be for that neighborhood, and that's my position on all this stuff. I've got a record of standing up for the neighborhoods that are in those areas that are directly affected, and that neighborhood was not willing to get into that risk, get into that extra traffic, and I was proud to be against it. I mean,
Yeah.
I really was.
Right.
I mean, look, there are other places that we could have gotten into that maybe that place could have lived. It just wasn't there. But when we say no to these things, and we say no to revenue, and you try to equate it to saying no to just manhandling a neighborhood, a full
Yeah.
decades old neighborhood, I can't see that's equatable.
So you're looking at a substantial tax increase right now.
Mm-hmm.
The mayor said there's really nowhere to cut. Do you agree with that?
I do agree with that.
The
I mean,
city
to a
is pretty
degree.
lean at this point.
To a degree. I mean, if you look at the budget, the mayor's got a $3,000 raise and his chief of staff's got a $6,000 raise. So we could start there. I mean, it's $10,000 at a time when you're raising taxes 8%. I don't know necessarily that that's the right approach to take.
Manaski.
One of the reasons that he's giving, I believe, is because of retirement costs, et cetera, are going up through the roof. Is that something that the city can budget on? Let's say I've been told in the past that they don't get that much time. It varies year to year. It's not like a fixed cost. It's going to go up 3% this year, 4% the next year, et cetera.
Yeah, the way I understand it, and see, that's another. See, look, my biggest problem, Jeff, is the fact that our eye is not on the prize. Right, so we spend all this time working on getting signatures for your term extension. We spend all this time taking law memos out and figuring out how to make sure that our arrogance and our power is really overtaken. The problem is, though, that if we were working on the budget, we have, whether you like it or not, the economy is doing really well outside of yesterday with the stock market. Our pension costs are directly related to the stock market. So what I think the mayor should have done, and he should have been doing for months now, is going into the comptroller's office, who we have a tremendous relationship with. The comptroller's been great to this area. We should have been going in there saying, look, stock market's doing great. We need to get our percentage down just a little so we can have a little relief for our pension costs. That's not uncommon. We haven't been doing that. So it is a percentage based on our payroll. But, I mean, again, we are not working on the right initiatives to make sure that we're cost-effectively operating our budget. And those are the things that I'm most concerned about, is the fact that we're worried about ourselves and our political futures when we should be worrying about the taxpayer and the money that we're spending inside our budget.
I don't want an answer to this question as of yet because I want to break, but we'll have you hang for a few minutes.
Sure.